Shipping giants avoiding the Red Sea as Iranian-backed militants have increased attacks to show their support for Hamas fighting Israel in Gaza, with about 14 vessels attacked. Our next guest posting on the X platform that his company has more than 2,000 shipping containers which have been directly impacted by those shipment halts. And the attacks are adding to global shipping state of uncertainty. Flexport CEO Ryan Petersen joins us now. So Ryan, you're the software supply chain logistics guy. Explain where you fit in and how you're being affected by all this.
Well, Flexport's a freight forwarding company built around modern software, so we help businesses move cargo around the world, especially by ocean freight. We're one of the top 10 freight forwarders by volume in the world. So that's, again, helping companies place orders to their factories and get the containers delivered, whether that's on a ship or a plane. So we have thousands of containers right now in the region of the Red Sea that were meant to transit the Red Sea in the next couple of days that are now either being rerouted around the Cape of Good, around the Southern Cape, or just sitting around waiting.
How much delay does that add? I read somewhere that if it goes around the Cape of Good Hope in Africa instead, it adds another up to 3 weeks.
Yeah, it takes about 20% longer, not maybe more like 2 weeks. But here's the thing, a lot of it's about replanning all the containers. So, like, for example, on one of these MSC, one of the ships that was hit by the missile is an MSC ship, Mediterranean Shipping Company. That's a Swiss ocean carrier, the largest in the world. And Flexport, that ship was scheduled to pick up 4 containers for Flexport in Spain and take them to Morocco next week. Well, if it's going around, then it's going to get to Morocco first and Spain second. That ship's not going to be able to take those containers, so they have to replan everything in the network. And then imagine all the delays that happen because, right, the ship's not in the right place or the container's not in the right place at the right time.
So how does this get dealt with, besides just rerouting ships? Can't the U.S. government and other foreign governments get more involved to protect the routes?
Yeah, the U.S. Navy has announced this weekend. I think we're going to see more updates from them, hopefully today, to find out what they actually intend to do or what the strategy is. We may not know right away, but they are sending basically a carrier group to the Red Sea, or the Gulf of Aden, to that region. Huge amounts of military resources. How they deal with it is a little bit unclear. But remember, that is sort of the founding mission of the U.S. Navy back to fighting the Barbary pirates off Libya in 1798, was to allow for free trade, to allow for freedom of navigation. So I do think we're going to see the Navy step in. But how to deal with this, it's difficult because it's really terrorist attacks. It's hard to target the source of the missiles.
Yeah, although we may be able to target it, it's also a question as to whether we want to actually launch our own missiles and attack Yemen, right? The Houthi bases there, I guess.
I'm not an expert on that, but I've seen the U.S. Navy fire missiles at a lot of people over the last decade, so it wouldn't surprise me.
What you are an expert on is moving stuff from one place to another. So what are your expectations from the longer-term ramifications of this, Ryan? Or how long it may continue? I mean, I know that's difficult to predict, obviously, given the current circumstances.
Yeah, I can't say anything about how long it's going to continue. We're going to find out. So far, 9 of the 10 largest ocean carriers in the world, so representing about 85% of container capacity, have rerouted their ships around, or paused. But I think most of them have just fully committed to rerouting and going around the Cape of Good Hope. So that is about a 20% decrease in the supply of shipping on that trade lane. And 30% of all the ships go through the Suez. So net, you're talking about, what is that, 20%, 30%, 6% reduction in the capacity of container shipping, plus all the replanning that I was just alluding to. So that's going to be a huge impact in cost because, and then ultimately for the shippers, what we've seen the last couple of years is a small decrease in capacity, 6%. Maybe that's kind of small, maybe it's large, I don't know. But a 6% decrease in capacity could lead to a price increase for shippers, for the companies that need to move cargo, of 2 to 3 to even 4x. We'll see where the price shakes out in January, but I think you're going to see much more expensive ocean freight for the next month or two, at least.